Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us. This is TJF Talks. I'm Chris.
I'm Cheetah, and on the podcast, we invite notables to talk about jazz, the music, the life, the vibes, everything that goes with it, and anything else that happens to pop up. We like to call that improvisation.
I love it. Today we interview a legendary drum set player, marimba player, singer, all things, Elizabeth Goodfellow. She's been touring most recently with Pokey Lafarge and on the road with Iron and Wine. And she's done countless other things as well. Her charisma and her musicianship on stage is second to none. And she's an amazing marimba player and a singer, and her live recordings of her original music, they hit right here in the heart. So we are big fans of Beth Goodfellow, and today we get to talk to her.
And she has some really interesting points to make regarding the xylophone versus the marimba. She also has a lot of support, and she's kind of a fan of a lot of local musicians, and rightfully so. You'll find out about that. And have you ever seen anyone play the candlesticks?
As drumsticks? No.
Well, she's going to do that all on the podcast today.
So welcome. So glad that you are here with us today, Beth.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for
Thanks,
joining the
You're
TJF
welcome.
Talks world. And well, what are we going to do today?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is kind of a thing that we do. We bring jazz into conversation world, and we ask you random questions, and it could be about jazz. It could be about anything, and we call it improvisations instead of improv or conversation. So welcome. Thanks. I hope you're brave because it's going to be fun.
All right, let's dive in.
All right,
All right.
let's do this.
Hit
So I want to start first with the marimba. I think I've mentioned to you before, I'm a former marimba player as well. And why does that instrument speak to you?
Well, I first played it in college. No, maybe high school. And I just like the way that the wood feels. Like it's such a foil to the vibraphone, which is kind of the typical jazz keyboard instrument. The marimba, I think I chose it specifically because I am a little bit intimidated by playing jazz mallets, and I much more of a trap kit player.
Right.
But I love the marimba. I love how it sounds in like the Steve Reich sort of application of all those contrapuntal rhythms and melodies, and I wanted to explore that texture for myself. So yeah, I'll just.
I want to get to that looping thing in a second, but you talked about the sound of the marimba and how it registers with you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed off do you get when someone calls the marimba a xylophone?
I've actually just started doing that myself, because when I say marimba, people's eyes glaze over and they don't know what I'm talking about. So I just say it's like a xylophone, but a little bit bigger, a little warmer, a little deeper sound.
That's funny because it only when we were prepping that I was like, oh, I probably did that.
Yeah, I believe you have. Yeah.
Other things make me angry, Chris, not this one.
Yeah.
that one you've let go.
Yes.
So
Pick your battles.
Yes.
So we'll have all sorts of listeners here, and you mentioned Steve Reich and love his music, and I can see that influence in what you do. Talk about the looping thing that you do with the marimba and layering your voice on top of that. It's fascinating.
Sure. So I right before the COVID years, I had started to explore using the marimba as a chordal texture in like folk songwriting.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, like wanting to bring my classical percussion background into what I was experiencing on the road working for Iron and Wine, and all the ways I was studying Sam's songwriting, and wanting to kind of combine these things that I loved and figure out where my voice could fit into those in between those influences, or which of those things was going to stick. I was just throwing things kind of at the wall at that point, and I was intending to have other percussionists come in and play the parts with me, and then boom, all of a sudden we're quarantined, and I was quarantined alone for 4 months in my apartment in LA, and I decided, well, I guess I'll try to learn Ableton and do some looping, and this is a good excuse to learn. Ableton was offering their software for free at the time, and so I worked with that for a minute, and then I realized I have to trigger these loops with something other than my hands, because I'm playing constantly with my hands. So I thought getting the loop, the RC 300 is the pedal that I use. It has 3 separate loopers built into one. I can use it to do different keys if I want to. Like it's a whole technical thing that can kind of also be not
Yeah, I
that
mean,
interesting to talk about, but
it's beautiful how like obstacles become the mother of invention sometimes.
Yeah.
totally,
Well, I was gonna say
totally.
you had plenty of time on your hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you had the obstacle, I can't be around people, so like let me figure out how I can do it yourself, and then that becomes a
Mhm.
creative process for you to figure out all those layers and put them in.
Yeah.
And was adding the voice always the element to it? Was that always the intention?
That was the point, yeah, because I've tried to play guitar my whole life. For whatever reason, I just can't. I've accepted certain things about myself, and me really, really wanting to play guitar, but never having the discipline. It's the same with the vibraphone and jazz. Like I just accept like certain things I'm good at, and that my personality is such that I want to lean towards those things instead of, beating myself up about, oh, you need to learn how to play like a G minor 7 on the. I mean, I could if I sat there, but the looping thing, I've always been good at thinking linearly, and so this just made sense for my brain to do it. Did I answer your question?
She's like, please let me have answered the question.
No, you totally answered the
Even my brain
question.
does. Just like-
Right, like like it's beautiful how how they wander around. So like, well, let's focus it back a different way. Let's music.
Okay.
You're listening to music. What artist or music makes you just chill? Any
Makes me
genre.
just chill.
Yeah, just chill. Sometimes
Oh.
we need that, right?
Do you want to chill?
Well, okay, when I want to relax, you know what, I put on Naima more, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I do. I really do. His record, Moments Before, that has John Convertino on drums, and I think maybe Ben Nisbet plays some strings
Yeah.
on it, but it's just a beautiful record front to back. And I listened to that a lot in those moments of solitude. And
Oh,
Good
that's
songs that you
cool.
want to chill
Support
too.
local too.
Yeah.
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 Oh, it's beautiful. I love his music. What if you want to get up and move,
Oh, if I want to dance?
dance, go jogging too, whatever?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just listening to a lot of Giant Sand right now.
Oh.
And I immediately thought of Valley of Rain and just like
Uh-huh.
the first notes of October Anywhere. That just makes me wanna, it gives me some energy to run a couple miles.
I love that.
So
well,
are
maybe
you a
that
big-
could be inspiration for me, like to run a couple
miles?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, are you a big runner? Is that sort of your thing?
That's my cardio on tour. Yeah, that's the way I even explore the town. I went on a really fun
That's a good idea.
run in Antwerp. Some of these runs stick in my mind. Also one in Missoula, Montana. But yeah, that's a good way to get some exercise and also get to see the town at the same time.
Taking the space. Yeah, I know when you're in.
Decompress.
Did have you fallen into that trap where you know what the bus looks like, you know what the backstage looks like, and then people ask you afterwards, "Oh, you went to Stockholm?" I did, but I only saw this.
I'm actually pretty lucky to have a bunch of friends in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
So I do get to socialize a bunch there, and that helps me get out of the bus green room,
Right.
the mind trap. I tell everybody now, like, first class is my bed. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Like, you fly so much after a while, you just want to be in your house with
Yeah.
your dishes.
No, that's
Yeah, there's something settling about that. Dead or alive drummer that makes your jaws just drop.
Makes my jaw just, I just saw Spencer Tweedy play. He was playing with Waxahachie at the Newport Folk Fest. We just got done playing that with Iron and Wine. And I loved watching him move. He was like a really captivating drummer to watch.
Mm.
Also another alive drummer, John Convertino, is a huge influence.
Yeah.
So him and Ted Poor, who plays in Andrew Bird's band, their way of playing traditional and the way that they set up their kits and the way that they move and the touch that they achieve is inspiring to me. And then Dead, I mean, Elvin Jones, I got to see.
Did you?
I did. In Italy when I was in my early 20s. We played a festival and I got to see him play. So
Wow.
I always remember the feeling of seeing him in person play. Also, Terry Lynn Carrington is a big inspiration to me as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, one more passed on.
I like what Terry Lynn's doing lately with like involving the modern hip hop kind of stuff and in DJ music and whatnot with different projects that she's taken on and her swing. Geez,
Yeah.
It's incredible. You mentioned how one of the drummers, and how they move behind
Spencer, yeah.
Spencer, how he moves
Mhm.
behind the drum set. I see that in your playing. Like
Oh.
your expression comes through not just with what you're playing, but like through your body and whatnot. It's beautiful to watch and to listen to, and how does that speak to you?
Like, how does my movement
Your movement
speak
and your body
speak
speak,
to
yeah,
me?
yeah.
Well,
Or how does that um, help you bring the music out? Or do you
yeah.
not think
I don't think about it, but I was telling Sam, my boss in Iron and Wine, that I've accepted that people want to see me play.
Yep.
And when I lived in LA, they would hire me a lot to do YouTube videos that would also become recordings. That's kind of a trend, and
Right.
to do the video along with the record so that you could put something up on YouTube. And it seems that you can reach a lot more people that way with having a visual component to your release. So once that started happening and I started watching back, and I think maybe the first time it happened was when I did a video with Madison Cunningham and we did a paste session in New York. And then John Mayer like retweeted it or something. And
Yeah.
so it got a little bit of an audience that way. And I try not to think about it, but I'm aware that it's like part of what makes me hireable. So, but in a like a more artistic sense, or not like a less you know what I'm trying to say. Like when I think back before any of that, I think I it's not like it's not like a goal per se, but when I play, I always enjoy coming out of the feeling of having forgotten that I exist.
Mm.
Whenever that happens, it used to happen a lot more, but whenever it can happen, it's like, okay, I did it. Like that's the
Where you're just
ultimate.
lost in your whole art and you're just doing it.
And that usually means we did it together as musicians. Like all of us in some sense got there.
That's
It
awesome.
became transcendental.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that whole I think there's the same place in your brain that you go to when you're doing TM, transcendental meditation, and when you're like deep into a musical, either playing or if you're composing or writing music, your brain switches to this wonderful, cool place. It's like daydreaming almost. Kind of the same place where time and matter cease to exist. Am
Yeah.
I getting that right
Yeah,
from what
totally.
you're saying?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see all that.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's a magical place. And
I do that with TJF, like when I'm doing.
how do you do that?
How's that work? Take me there.
Yeah, take you there. I think everybody can do that, right? As a player, you do it, and you get into that space, and by you getting into that space, you bring others along with you.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
And as a listener, and if you're really actively listening, and I love active listening, and maybe we could talk about that in spaces that you perform, right? Because I know as musicians, we've all played in spaces where people aren't really listening and where they're really actively listening. Tell me the feel of the energy, how that changes in you when you know you're in those different spaces.
I try to treat them all the same, like
Mhm.
in terms of what I'm playing and what I'm bringing. And
You're a professional, of course you do.
the only thing that I mean, it's not even that bad though. Like anytime you're playing your instrument, I was gonna say I don't want to play like in a restaurant where I'm being told to like quiet. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, I didn't say that because it's still like a miracle to get to play no matter where you're playing and to be paid for it. And also having to play quiet all those years, I did a lot of that in San Francisco when I lived there, just quiet, background music. And you get really good at dynamics by doing that. And people that want to listen will, but there's something also kind of similarly disconnected about playing a really big arena or a amphitheater where everyone's so far away. Like we did this show at Wolf Trap last month, and apparently it was the biggest audience that we played for on the tour, but to me it felt like so disconnected because everyone was so far away.
And they become like a blob instead of individuals, right? Is that the feeling, or just because they were so far removed away from you?
It's just because they're so distant, but I do try to find one or two people in the crowd that are just like so into it, because then
Yeah.
that helps me too to connect with a bigger crowd. Like if you can just pick out a couple faces that are,
just feeding off of each other.
yeah.
So you mentioned being on tour. Like, what's the best part about being on the road?
Oh, um, well, I was really homesick for the first time this past 5 months that I was out. So
So
let me
that's the
just,
opposite question.
I
Yeah, the
know, I
worst part
know.
about being on tour.
The best part, well, that was one of my favorite quotes. Who said this? Anthony Bourdain. Did he say this? The best part about uh, the best part about leaving home is, oh, I'm gonna bungle it. Anyway, it's this just perfect quote that sums up like the best thing about leaving is coming home, and the best thing
Yeah.
about coming home is that you get to leave.
Mhm.
And it's this constant yin yang sort of like push pull, like wistfulness of you're gone so much that you're never really belonging when you're home. But then once you settle, there's something in all of us nomadic people that like these touring type people that just has to go. You just have to go
There's
again.
that wanderlust to go out and explore, and it's not just the spaces; it's the music, it's the opportunity, and what you bring to the world, right?
Yeah,
like
in the best days, hopefully you have a lot to give.
Yeah.
And that's the point, is that you're there because you have something to impart and to the other musicians and to the audience, hopefully. And there's so many people that make the journey to a show that's like a big expense and time, and they have been looking forward to it. And for us, it's like every day is
Yeah.
a performance. And so it's like your job. But then every night you're with these people that have really looked forward to this for weeks. And so it's important to remember that.
That's a good point, because there are so many people who decide, oh, I'm going to go to the show for my birthday or my anniversary,
Yeah.
or I haven't been out in 6 months, or I really love this album or this artist, and
you might be that one moment in their life.
yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
an escape from whatever.
Right.
Yes.
That's really cool to remember that, especially when you're stuck in the mundane of being, Groundhog Day every day on the road, trying to change it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever had someone walk up to you after a show that shared something that like touched them, from that you was unexpected, that like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was hitting you the way that it just did?
I get to talk to a lot of kids who have just started playing the drums.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
And I usually, if they ask, give them a pair of my sticks or something like that. Because for me, when I was growing up, watching drummers play gigs and seeing, oh, that's how they do that. Oh, that's,
Yeah.
even especially if they don't have drum lessons, they can really see how you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
And then to get to talk to, I loved getting to talk to the drummers afterwards. And so that's really meaningful, especially like young girls that come up that are just starting to
I
play
was
drums.
going to ask about that.
Yeah, that's really important, and I love seeing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so was that part of, your inspiration? Was there someone like that in your life when you were younger?
I mean, Terry Lynn Carrington, I had a master class with her when I was in my early 20s through this program called Sisters in Jazz.
Oh, wow.
which-
Nice.
do you guys know about that?
No, I didn't know about it. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's through the Jazz Education Network,
Mhm.
and they do this competition every year that's an international call for female and femme musicians, and they put a group together and they have them mentored. So my mentor was Christine Jensen back in 2003, and her sister Ingrid Jensen came a little bit too and played with us. And then Terry Lynn gave us a master class, and she sat down at my kit and she said, I'm not going to move anything. I'm going to see what your setup inspires me to play.
Oh, wow.
And so now every time I sit in, I don't move anything because I love that. It's like getting behind someone else's car or,
yeah.
and just seeing
Right.
how you play differently.
Mhm.
Yeah.
because of
And
that.
for folks that don't play drum set, it can be radically different how
Mhm.
each drummer sets his or her drum set up.
Well, it's
I mean,
sort of like
Yeah.
that with any craft that you have.
Yeah.
You have things a certain way, even on your desk. Something as silly as sitting at a
Right.
desk. I like my pencil here. I like this here. But
but
obviously
it
more
makes a difference.
intense and
It makes a difference to your flow and how you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I sat down at Casey's kit the other night at Creasel
Yeah.
and played a few tunes, and it was cool to see. Oh, you angle your snare like that, okay, and you're this distance between your cymbals.
Right.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Or if you go by muscle memory, shoot, I did not hit that cymbal just now, right?
Even at my own kit sometimes, like I'm really in it. I'm like, I posted something where I dropped a stick at this like critical climax of one of the Iron and Wine songs.
Yeah.
And you just have to pull another one out of my stick bag quiver.
And it seems like a big flub to you in the moment, but the reality is hardly anybody noticed because you recovered, and your intention was like huge, but it changed, and it then probably added something nice to the moment, right?
I like it when that stuff happens at this point.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, right? Yeah.
Well, you're definitely flexing the muscle and stretching and getting something different and new in there, so that's great.
Yeah, for sure. I saw you light up when you mentioned like inspiring kids.
Yeah. I used to teach a lot, and I don't anymore. I think about it a lot. I stopped teaching in 2010 because I, at that moment, made the intention I'm now going to be a player, which was a thing that I guess, I don't know if it was a Bay Area thing, but a lot of people were like, if you can just play, then you really, really made it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really, obviously that's sort of a short-sighted way of looking at things. And I'd like to teach again at some point, whether it's like a master class or a, like a sliding scale private lesson thing. I think maybe when I'm not in such a busy year, that'll make itself.
I'm sure we could find something for you to teach.
Well, it sounds like
here.
I mean, to some degree, I feel like you're cutting yourself short because you are teaching. Because you talked about like those moments, and maybe you have one. I'll ask it this way: is that there's key moments that happen in all of our lives, right? There's like something that happened. You mentioned Terry Lynn as one, right? And there might have been something before that, like this never happened before, and I talked with this person, or this thing happened.
Yeah.
And that one thing, while it wasn't everything, it did change the course of my life, or open up my eyes and ears to something I never realized existed before.
When I was just starting to play the drums, the custodian at our school was a drummer, and he brought his drum set because we didn't have one at the school. He would bring it during lunch, and he showed me how to play it. And then he also gave me a tape that had like Sleepwalk on it and some other like surf
such
rock
a cool song.
stuff. And so I feel like maybe that's why I like a lot of the guitar players in Tucson, because that seems to be a common vein, and like Naeem's playing. And
yeah.
That like the soaring, whining guitar.
Well, it's interesting. The custodian, he's like, oh, this girl plays the drums. Let me bring my kid in.
Yeah, I think he was just excited to have someone to jam with. I don't know, but it was cool.
I always, there's this notion out there that you should always make friends with the custodian. And it's usually because they have keys to everything and they can get you into rooms if you need to get into a place. That's usually like if you work in an institution or whatnot, where there's like, you need, can you get me into this practice room when I was in college? Like, go talk to the custodian, be friends with them, and you're nice to them. They might let you in.
Yeah.
But you had the like quintessential custodian moment. Not only
no
they
doubt.
let you in, but he let you into his drum set and he introduced you to something.
Sure did, yeah.
That's really cool. I love that. All right, so you live in Tucson now.
I do. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. So what, besides the lower rent from LA, what inspired you to move here, to make this your home base? And your home?
So many things. I mean, like the immediate thing that happened was I was I was out on tour for 2 months straight last fall. And I posted on Facebook just kind of out of the desperation of like the idea of coming home to this apartment with all these shared walls and this very small like amount of noise I could make. And I just posted in 2025, I want to live in a house that has no shared walls, and I want to be able to play day or night, whatever I want. And Winston Watson texted me and he said, hey, I think I might have a place for you.
That's amazing.
And I was like, where? Is it LA or Tucson? Because he kind of splits his time.
Yeah.
And it's like Tucson. And I looked at where it was, and it was right, down in Armory Park where everybody lives, like close to the barrio. And so, and I already had taken the job with Pokey Lafarge, and that meant I was going to be on the road most of this year. I've already been out for about 5 months straight this year. And I thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it because I know everybody there. I've wanted to live here for so long. And then at the same time, Tuya invited me to do the Secret Jazz in January. So I was already looking for like an Airbnb to be here for a couple months. And so I went from maybe staying with a friend for 2 weeks to subletting a house for 2 months to just moving here. Like that's how the plans.
Well, you put it out in the universe and all the things fell in line.
It manifested itself.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been in Tucson for a while. Tamales or tacos?
Well, where are we? I mean, if we're at La Andita, then I would have a tamale. But if we are in my kitchen, I would make some breakfast tacos with eggs and potatoes and some green chilies and a little hot sauce. And
you like to cook?
I love to cook 2 things.
Okay.
Tacos and spaghetti.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't have any dinner plans. So.
Right.
So what about the dry heats and the winters? Do you have a favorite?
Well, being from Stockton, it's kind of like the desert of Central California. And so this heat I actually grew up in, not quite as hot, but got into the hundreds quite a bit and pretty dry. So Tucson, actually, the climate feels familiar and it feels like home in that way. So I really don't mind it. I have a nice new mini split and
perfect.
Everything's groovy. Yep.
Have you had a Raspado yet?
What's that?
Oh, you haven't? It's like a fruity, icy drink.
Oh.
You know the old 7-Eleven ices?
Yeah.
It's like that, but good.
Oh.
Yeah, and it does, like, even the description of what it is doesn't even begin to explain how delicious it is when it hits your mouth.
Is this like the EG stuff?
It's like it's a Mexican EG's.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so much better.
But so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
And you definitely have to get it from
a legit
stand
okay.
or a truck.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, yeah.
Something.
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
I'll share with you a couple places after we're done where you can go get one. Or I will get one for you and bring it to you.
All right.
And then you'll need to try it out.
for everyone.
That's right. All right. So what gets you out of bed every day? Excites you?
Writing.
Yep.
Writing music. Yeah. For sure. And like that, I say that in like a lighthearted way, but it's also something that is important for, my mental health too. Like writing is sometimes the difference between moping around all day with no direction or being like really excited about like a new friend that is a new song that you just wrote that you just want to play.
So when you write, do you actually like write the notes out, or is it just writing and composing and then recording what you're writing?
So I have this process that I started back in college when I learned how to use Sibelius, the computer program, and I will write one line of marimba and I'll make sure that I like it as an individual melody. And then I'll write the counter melody to that. And it's usually like a very short 1 or 2 bar pattern. And then if it still wants something, I'll write a third line, but sometimes not. And then I had been transposing it like up a minor third or a major second usually, or those are the 2 intervals that seem to work the best. And that would be like the B section. And now I'm challenging myself to stay in one key. Like you can do more with less, like try to get even more out of less, like more economical.
Simplicity is best concept. Yeah.
Yeah. So the song I'm going to do later at my house is very short, economical, but it's one of my favorite new.
I love that. That was a Quincy Jones thing. He talked about the best way to compose was to create limitations for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like I have to work within these constraints.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be time or keys as you're talking about or notes or whatever it is, you create those little obstacles, and it's I like to beckon it with the same as creating like a little maze for yourself. You've brought yourself into the maze and you have to try to figure out how to get yourself out of the maze.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like a form or a structure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Or it's just a puzzle and you're like trying to figure out, all right, I have these pieces to work with. How do I put these 5 pieces together that don't seem like maybe they go together?
Like harmonically speaking?
Yeah, or harmonically, or sometimes it might be motif related, right?
Sure.
You're like I'm working with 2 different motives, and like can I make that coalesce? Because B sections have always been my like that. I think they're the bane of any composers, right? I had this great melody I'm in love with it, and I know it needs to go somewhere else. But how do I get there without like ruining what I just started? And
Oh yeah. Oh God. Those thoughts are try to avoid even thinking about.
right.
Try to just like get in the spot where I'll write the thing and then I'll just loop it. And then I'll write something that feels like the music, like words.
Yeah.
Like write the words that feel like the music. And then I will improvise vocally until I find something that catches my ear. Like I'll just sing the words and like look for the melody like in real time.
Do the words come to you quickly?
No, I write the words ahead of time.
Do you?
But I have been like really inspired working a little bit with How and seeing how he makes up his songs in real time. That's like such a magic
You ever played with emotions? Meaning, here's an emotion. Let me write something to that emotion. Let me try to feel that emotion and see what comes from it.
I don't feel anything anymore, Chris.
It's all the touring.
No, I don't approach it from that angle. No, I let the music sort of guide me to what I'm feeling. I don't know if
we
it's
all have different processes.
Yeah.
But I think
what was interesting earlier when you said, and I look at it and I listen to it and I decide, does it want more?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're describing right there is like, does it want more? Do I add to it? The music will tell me.
I'm a really selfish writer because I just want to write what I want to listen to. And but lately I've been inspired by listening to some writers that I respect their work and how they do consider the audience's time or the audience's like attention into their, they don't want to just be self-indulgently writing a journal entry or something. They want to actually put something of value out there.
I guess it depends on the fan, though. Some of the fans just want to hear that
maybe
self-indulgent stuff.
Yeah.
So speaking of, you've spoken actually a lot about local musicians.
Love it here.
And one of the things we like to do during our podcast is ask you a question for someone else. So we go out and find people who know you or family members or acquaintances, and we have them give us the question. So we've done that with someone that you know.
What?
Yeah. So I talked to Sergio Mendoza.
Oh, Serge.
Yeah.
Sergio.
Yeah, good Serge. And he leads up Orquesta Mendoza, who you played with him before. And he had a couple questions. So he said, I noticed that you play with a traditional grip. Have you always played with a traditional grip? And can you explain the pluses, minuses to the 2 different most often used grips?
Oh, Sergio.
Yeah, that's really introspective.
So serious and intense.
Hi, where's the camera? That's a great question. First of all, I just love playing with Sergio, and I love that everything I've learned playing in orquesta, I hope we do more together. One of my favorite gigs with Serge was going to Dubai and playing in the World Fair. Was it World Expo?
Yeah, it's the World Fair.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen him play traditional.
I haven't. Yeah.
Of all the things I've seen him do.
Yeah.
Well, traditional grip came from, as far as I know, when drummers used to wear their snare drums on a sling that would go over their shoulder. And so the drum would sit at an angle as they walked. And they would have, if you were to play matched grip, which is the sticks both in the same matched grip, then one elbow would just be way up here. And so traditional grip pulls the elbow back and puts the stick like in your hand, kind of like that.
Yeah. You're basically holding this your hand upside down as opposed to the other hand. Yeah.
But I like it because the stick is it's now cradled in your hand, and you can kind of I love playing it in the jazz context where I'm like accompanying on the snare.
Mhm.
And I want a very gentle, almost kind of chit chat. Like, it's still intentional. Like, you don't want to ever just like comp with want and abandon. But if you're trying to be behind a soloist and interject these little rhythmic comments, it's nice to do it from that cradled traditional grip place on the snare.
Yeah.
And for match, that's, like if I'm doing like a single stroke roll and I'm doing like a train beat or something, well, that's fun with trad too. But I don't know. It's obviously marimba is matched grip because that wouldn't make any sense to do on it's a completely flat surface. But
you'll change periodically within a song, don't you?
People like that because to get from, I wish I had a stick.
Candle?
Yeah. So
here's another one.
Oh yeah. So thanks. So if I'm playing, traditional and I wanna go to the matched grip, that's literally the quickest way to do it.
Flip it over.
Fun.
Like otherwise you kind of have to grab it and then do that. But if I can just do that, and then everyone's like, "You're flipping your stick. It's so cool." And it's really just a very functional part of my playing.
But you go with it because, I do that. I'm cool.
Exactly. I mean, it's fine. It can be entertaining and functional at the same time.
Do the candles inspire you to maybe think about using them as drumsticks? No,
yeah,
probably
but they're
not.
going to break.
They'll last all of 5 seconds on the stand. All right, I like to ask one last question of every person that comes in. And
wait, that was the only question from Sergio?
Oh no, he has one more.
Oh.
Let me ask the other question from Sergio. I love this. All right, here's the scenario.
Uh-oh.
You are going to show your new friend an album they've been missing out on. Would it be something you recently discovered or something you've loved for a long time? Regardless of the style, what would it be?
I feel baited.
I know.
He's like,
he goes, let me list all the Orquesta Mendoza albums that you might want to consider.
Vamos a Guaranchar is a great orchestra record that I had on repeat all through the summer of 2020.
I love it.
I do love that record, and I would put it on at a party. And I think I did a commercial shoot for Roland V drums in that same summer, and I put that they said bring anything you want to play along to, we're just going to take pictures, and so I brought that record and blasted it in the warehouse.
Does he know that you used that?
I don't know.
I
don't know if I told him.
That's kind of cool. That was an inspiration for you to take a photo shoot with.
It was like him and some Camilo Lara Mexican Institute of Sound stuff that I brought. But I'm on such a giant sand kick right now. I really am too. I would probably put on Swerve if like I had a captive audience and be like, check this out, it's amazing.
I haven't heard that album.
I feel like
now that you've said it, like I'm gonna go find it and I'm gonna put it on.
I feel like it's very appropriate now that you've moved to Tucson officially, that you're on a giant sand kick. Yeah.
I love it. All right. One last question.
Okay.
And the question is, why does live music matter?
Oh man. Well, it's like in live music, I would go, live music can be many things these days. You could be watching a live music concert that's performed by a hologram with no people involved whatsoever in the actual performing of it. Like it could be all tracks and a hologram. And some people go to concerts and have that experience. And there's like a whole technological thing that I don't understand, and I'm okay. I think I've like gotten off the train like intentionally once I started playing with tracks and I mean, tracks are fine. I was having this conversation yesterday with Miguel. We were having like a drummer hang talking about production and stuff and live shows. Let me try to be succinct though. I tend to like give way more of a longer answer than maybe.
No, it's okay.
Live music matters because it brings people together. It gets people in a communal space, and there's a shared experience. Like often, like we were talking about earlier, it could be transcendental, it can be emotional, it can be the one part of your month even where you feel connected to other people, and like you had, a memory or an experience that is really magical, hopefully. And it also, I think, in this age of AI generated content, it's important to get out and see musicians play their instruments together, and for the next generation of musicians to go to jam sessions, which there are like great jam sessions here in town, and learn how to do all these things without looking at an iPad. Or it's great to learn from YouTube, but also learn from the people on the bandstand with you or in front of you. Live, there's nothing like live music. It absolutely matters because it's a very human thing. Music is a mystical, magical thing that we don't even begin to understand, and it's a mystery.
Well, it fills the gap between everything else. You kind of pull it all together, and you see there's live action and people and souls and expressions and everything involved together.
Souls.
Brings souls together, and there's something special about feeling those sound waves of the actual instrument, especially percussion when you play, when those sound waves are hitting you.
Just a different experience orally.
Yeah, and you see the person, especially you playing too, seeing you and how you intentionally put the notes throughout your whole entire body, onto the drum set. They come out musically, and how they interact with the musicians you're playing with. It's a wonderful experience, and I would urge anybody at any point in your life, seek out Beth Goodfellow.
Yes.
And watch you perform.
Thanks.
And listen to you perform, and be in your sphere. It's truly amazing.
Thank you. That's just so kind of you. Can I add to my answer?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know you're wrapping it up, but I just remembered one thing about live music that's really important as compared to a record.
Yeah.
A lot of the artists I love to work with, like Sam especially, and Iron and Wine, their live versions of their songs are so different from the record. And so the live concert setting with an audience that can like appreciate and show up and understand what he's doing is like priceless. To have a creative evolution continue beyond the recorded version into the live.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Oh, it's art and moving in real time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fun.
And that makes it special for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cheetah.
It was so
Thank you,
nice to
Chris.
have you and
Oh, it's
hear
an
all
absolute
the great
pleasure to have you
stories
here.
and all the I think what I want to call it is like the educated like knowledge behind it, because like so many times the people who aren't musically trained or doing that don't understand. They're just out there enjoying. So it's really nice to hear that part and detail.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
ElizabethGoodfellow.com.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Beth Goodfellow works too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also your socials.
Yes, Beth Goodfellow all across the board. Should pop up. This is, let's see. I think I'm playing a show at Che's on November 16th.
Okay.
So this will be up.
This will air before that.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
we'll
great.
check.
I think, yes, Sunday.
We look
November
forward to your return after you go out on
Yes,
another
for
next
sure.
short tour.
16th.
Enjoy the road.
Wonderful to call Tucson home. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Beth. What a wonderful conversation with Beth today.
Absolutely. What a wonderful human being she is, and so super talented.
Yeah, and she's really grounded, and we're fortunate she's grounded here in Tucson. She's out on the road so much, but she has a home here, and she talks about how Tucson just feels like home, and certainly she knows the musicians and the scene here really well.
I mean, that was a cool thing to know that she hasn't been here that long, but she has absolutely gotten acclimated and migrated toward her people.
I love that, and we talked about the marimba. And it's something that she learned in classical percussion training in college, and how she's used that as a voice for herself, not only the marimba itself, but through her singing and her writing.
Yes.
And how writing, what is that gets her up every morning? It fuels her.
And tells her, instead of walking around doing nothing, she's got a purpose, and she's either in a good mood or still in a curious, like, I got to do something more mood.
Yeah, music plays a wonderful role in all of our lives. And
How about when she talked about the little girls coming up to her after shows and
you see her face light up,
oh my gosh, and she was like, "I love talking to them and giving them drumsticks," and
right, and inspiring them. And you never know when you're making that one
Mhm.
impactful moment on a young person's life. And my guess is that Beth has made many.
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again. Hopefully you will too.